All right. We are live here on Railroad Education Programs at Greendale Station. And I'd like to promote Greendale Station as this is an active uh, project that some members in the Lackawanna Cutoff Historical Committee are actively pursuing to make the train station into a museum. So we're going to try to educate the public through videos, live videos, recorded videos. And so here is our opening video on what is a rail fan and what do rail fans look for while they're rail fanning. Okay, so a lot of people in the, we're in the North Jersey area, but all over the country, they see these trains go by. Some people, I guess, if they're not paying attention, listening to music, if they're taking the train, do they really know what's going on? Do they understand? Does the general public understand? Well, we're going to try to educate some people, and we'll do some history here, and we'll talk some trains over the next couple of episodes, and we'll see how this goes. So again, this will be uploaded on the Greendale Station Museum Facebook page as YouTube channel, as well as Railroad Education Programs. So I am going to actually share my screen in a moment here. So we're going to go over to, if I can do this, we are going to go to my PDF. I'm going to share this here. Okay. So, okay. So let's take a look here. What is a rail fan? Okay. This is anybody. Anybody can be a rail fan. People of all ages. Children, teenagers, adults, retirees, people, men, women, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a rail fan. Okay. And a lot of people, they use computers, and the younger generations always on their phones, and the phones do come in handy, for tracking trains. But you'll get to meet people. This is an exercise in using emotional intelligence and using your human emotions, not AI. All right. And the best part about this, it's an inexpensive hobby. Okay. So you don't need expensive gear. All you need to do is start to understand how the railroads and what the trains are. And that's what we're going to be here to do. So for anybody who is new to this and would like to, maybe somebody 3, 4, 5 years from now will come on to this and see what we're doing here. Okay. So let's start off with passenger rail. Passenger rail. Okay. So I'm just going to stop for a second. Stop sharing here for a second. Passenger rail. The general public, the media, the news media, whenever there's like a derailment or something or an incident, it makes the news. Amtrak is the national passenger, federally operated, and the states chip in money, railroad company. Long distance, Northeast Corridor. A lot of people in the Northeast Corridor, celebrities, news journalists, they use it between New York and Washington, or Boston and New York, or Boston and Washington, whatever. So Amtrak is the national passenger rail network, and it's big in the Northeast. Commuters, business travelers, college kids, day travelers, they use Amtrak all the time. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys some pictures at the end here, and we'll take a look at what an Amtrak train. Actually, let me do it now. Let me do it now, if I can, as we have this all set up here to go. Let's see if I can share my. I want to share the desktop here. I don't know if I want to do that. I might not be able to do the Amtrak share today. Because I'm on Chrome, but we'll figure that out. We'll have another video on just Amtrak. Okay, so Amtrak is the national network. Commuter rail lines. Commuter rail lines is, and we live in North Jersey. I do. This is New Jersey Transit. If you're in the Philadelphia area, this is SEPTA. If you're in Long Island, it's the Long Island Railroad. If you're in the Hudson Valley or Connecticut, this is Metro North. All right. Every major city in America, Chicago, Boston, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, they all have commuter rail lines, even out in California. Okay. And these are commuters, so they don't go that far. And these are where a majority of people, I would say, take the trains to go to work in the morning. Okay. Um, so we have Amtrak for long distance passenger, and we have commuter lines for short passenger lines or traveling. Then we have tourist or historic preservation lines. So if you're in the North Jersey area and you go a little bit down into the Pennsylvania area in Bucks County, we have the New Hope and Railroad, Ivy Land Railroad, which is a tourist line. They will go slow. This is where you bring your family to go on an outing, to do a family outing, or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and that's what that's for. The New York Susquehanna Technical and Historical Society runs a steam engine down on the Belldell line, which we'll get into in future episodes, and they operate in a couple of miles, and they go on it's a tourist line along the Delaware River. And it's going to go slower than a commuter line. It's going to go much slower than Amtrak. But these are fun activities you do with the family. Okay. And they're all over the country. These exist all over the country. Then we have urban transit, right, which carries people in urban areas. Okay. And that would be like a light rail system, which is essentially a modern day trolley. All right. And subways, which go underground. New York City subway, for example. PATH, which stands for Port Authority Trans Hudson. Okay. So those are your passenger categories. Okay. Those are the passenger categories you have. Okay. So again, this is like an introductory, lesson into rail fanning, and that's the passenger side. So we're going to continue with the freight now. All right. Because maybe some of you guys live in an area where there's not too much passenger. Maybe you live in a more rural area and there's freight trains operating over there. Let's take a look at the freight trains now. Okay. So moving on down, freight trains are the backbone of commerce. They are there to make money for the company. All right. Passenger trains usually don't make money, by the way. It's usually subsidized. Okay. So we have a long distance freight trains and freight carriers. And those companies include CSX, Norfolk Southern, in the Northeast. Okay. And they have long haul crews. These guys go hundreds of miles over sometimes multiple states. The train crews that go for these long distance trains, they stay over at hotels. They come back the next day. Okay. And this is where the companies make a majority of their money. And I'll tell you what they're hauling momentarily. Okay. Then you have like middle of the road. Sometimes they go a little bit farther. Sometimes they don't. An example of that would be the New York Susquehanna and Western Railway. And they go between North Jersey and Binghamton, New York, and everywhere in between, and Syracuse, New York, I should say. And it's not super big company, but it's not a short line, which is the next category of railroads I'm going to get into. It's like a middle of the road. And then we have a short line railroad, which operates basically 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. It's your mom and pop railroad company. All right. The Morristown and Erie is the perfect example of this. Okay. They operate on New Jersey Transit tracks, but they service local customers in the area. The SMS lines in South Jersey, Delaware-Lackawanna Railroad in Scranton, the Reading and Northern, which is one of a lot of the rail fans like this railroad because they do both short line freight and they do passenger. Okay. And again, we'll do future episodes on each one of these. So now we moved into freight. What are the freight companies moving? What types of trains are there? Okay. Well, long distance ones are carrying mostly intermodal or stack stuff, stack material, stack trains, they call them. This is your UPS trailers that go on trains, your Amazon trucks. They actually go on train cars as well, and they will send a whole train full of these things. or it seems like the whole train is Amazon or UPS, and they will ship them from like North Bergen all the way out to Chicago and Los Angeles. Okay, instead of having all these trucks on the road. All right. So these are the double stack container trains. And again, in future episodes, I'm going to get more into detail. We'll have images and videos of these. Okay, that's primarily what these railroad companies, CSX, Norfolk Southern, operate here in the Northeast, and Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, and Union Pacific out west. Then we have unit trains. All right, it's basically a train that has all of the same types of cars on it. An oil train, okay, a crude oil train, an ethanol train, a coal train, a grain train, a stone train. The whole train is going to be the same cars on it, carrying the same material, all on one train. Okay. Then you have a mixed freight train with boxcars, tank cars, gondolas, hoppers, loads and empties. It's called a general merchandise train. And these operate all over. Less and less, you see more of the unit and the intermodal trains these days. And then you have auto rack trains, which carry cars from plants to maybe to Port Newark to go overseas or vice versa. Usually new cars and trucks from manufactured plants and then to the dealers. Okay, so listen, we have a lot of different types of trains. This is a basic overview. Okay, there are other types of trains that we'll get into over, like like the ones you see at like a zoo maybe. I don't even consider those trains. I guess for kids they are, but we're going to stick to the passenger and the freight, and we're going to stick to the tourist for future videos. But so rail fans will go out and see these trains, and they will go identify the locomotives. They will go to historic places where these trains pass. Okay. And that's what rail fanning is. And if you get into the hobby, then you start to, take it seriously. You can listen to the railroads on the radio. That's a future lesson we're going to do on here, a future episode. So rail fanning encompasses passenger, freight, light rail, subways, and the locomotives are pretty cool. A lot of rail fans go after the older ones. All right. And the heritage units, which is really something that's going on right now in North America. Okay. So let's see if I can. No, I can't do that. I'm going to stop sharing that. I wanted to see if I could get some pictures up here, but I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. No. All right. So next time we come back up for episode 2, I'm going to have images of Amtrak, New Jersey Transit, Metro North, the passenger railroads, the commuter, the long distance. And we're going to have some images and videos of the Norfolk Southern, the CSX, and the tourist lines. All right. And we'll be able to start to identify these trains. All right. That'll be episode 2 of this podcast series that we're doing to educate the public and maybe potential rail fans who want to get into the hobby. All right. And we have a lot on the plate here. The model trains, the museums. Some of you might have heard about this big boy Union Pacific locomotive that came by cross country into the Northeast, and then it's back west now. Big boy steam engine, the biggest steam engine ever made in 1948. Okay, so we'll be back. Railroad education programs at Greendale Station. We want to educate the public on trains, and we want to have you guys participate in future episodes. So please, if you see this video and you like it below, make a comment. Are you a new rail fan? Are you a seasoned veteran? Do you have friends trackside? Are you a member of a Facebook community or other social media where you watch trains? This is not an amateur. Been doing this since Conrail and, the SD40-2s and all that stuff. So we will come back with future episodes. All right. And this is your host, Keith. Check out Greendale Station Museum on Facebook and Lackawanna Cutoff Historical Committee on Facebook as well. Have a good day, everyone, and we'll catch you down the road with another episode.